sabotaged, but slow and self-congratulatory. They moved like molasses, not like Jagger. They were big, impressive balloons, and we were sharp knives. So, with a motto stolen from Charles Bukowski, what matters most is how well you walk through the fire. We set out to change the conversation. The ink on our business cards had barely dried before we started throwing haymakers at industry tradition. Other agencies worked out of lavish office suites. We set up shop in a shady part of town in a tiny room inside an industrial warehouse. They had investors. We rolled pennies. They had hundreds of clients. We had none. We knew businesses were desperate for a different approach to branding. We just had to prove it. There was just one problem. No one knew who we were. To survive, we needed a Hail Mary. It came in the form of a 6x9-inch paper garbage can. In an era when yellow page ads were all the rage, we spent the only money we had on a direct mailer. We designed it to look and feel like a galvanized metal garbage can. And when you pulled the lid, the copy read, "Trash the ordinary," in a handwritten font with our phone number and web address. Nothing else. It was weird, and it was brave. After getting our hands on a mailing list of nearby businesses, we mailed each one a copy and held our breath. Over the next several days, the phone started ringing, and people started showing up at Motto with a can in hand. We earned our first client, and ahead of the curve dentist who wanted to, in his own words, do something different. Together, we created an experience-rich, cutting-edge dental brand, a one-of-a-kind in our area. That success marked the first of many disruptions across traditionally unsexy categories, such as law, real estate, audiology, hospitality, and food and beverage. If it could be challenged, we would declare war on the ordinary. After we won various competitions, earned some awards, and received copious amounts of national press, people got curious. Who were these young girls running an unorthodox agency from a warehouse in the ghetto? Business as usual pushed back. Hard. If you've ever lived in a small town, you'll understand. Small towns are notoriously locked down by established players. We had no clue we were a threat. The big agency in town invited us to their office to try to size us up. They wanted our take on a campaign they were developing for a local bank. Everyone there had a leather briefcase. And there we were, at the far end of a table the size of a small country, feeling very out of place, with no briefcases. The creative director flung the work down in front of us. "What do you girls think?" We paused, all eyeballs on us. Ashleigh, isn't this Target's tagline? Sunny, do people really care if they get a free blender with a checking account? Just like that, the meeting was over. Yep, they had us escorted out. The CEO flung the door open and said, "You'll never be successful in this town." After a while, we started to keep score. Times we were sabotaged? 16. Times we got fired for the exact reason we were hired? 20. Times we were told our ideas were absurd? Hundreds. Times we were written off? Thousands. We were learning the hard way that vision, dangerous thinking, and defiance of the status quo come with a price. It made the first several years of building Motto a monstrous roller coaster. On one hand, we had nothing to lose. It was fun, real, raw. We loved every minute of it, and we helped cool companies do amazing things. But on the other, our guts hurt from the punches. We bounced checks, slept at the office, experienced soul-crushing defeats, and Sunny got so thin from stress and anxiety that her family staged an intervention. Most of all, we were lonely. While most of our friends were happily chipping away at college and waking up with shaving cream mustaches on their faces, we were slugging it out in boardrooms, getting schooled every which way, and growing up very, very fast. To broaden our appeal, mentors and family members suggested we dial back our crazy ideas, tame down the fluffy talk of vision and purpose, take whatever work we could get our hands on. Don't ruffle feathers or have such strong opinions. Be like everybody else. You have no idea.